before passing away, Cary Grant, one of the most charming actors of all time, revealed shocking secrets about his hidden homosexual affairs that he kept secret throughout his life, even mentioning the names of some Hollywood stars he secretly dated. But what he left behind was not just the glamour, but also controversial dark corners, stories that were not as beautiful as on the silver screen. Today, let's uncover Cary Grant's life together, from the dazzling stage lights to the heartbreaking secrets behind the curtain. Let me take you back in time, to the 1900s, when Cary Grant was still the boy Archibald Alexander Leach, born on January 18, 1904 in Horfield, Bristol, England. His life was not easy at all. Imagine a boy growing up in poverty, with an alcoholic father and a depressed mother. His father, Elias James Leach, worked as a pants presser, while his mother, Elsie Maria Kingdon, was a seamstress. Their family lived in a cramped house, and tragedy struck early. Grant's older brother, John William Elias Leach, died of tuberculous meningitis just 2 days before his first birthday, a loss that plunged his mother into severe depression. From a young age, Grant was influenced by family conflicts. He once recounted that his mother taught him to sing and dance from the age of 4, encouraged him to learn piano, and often took him to the cinema, where he was mesmerized by stars like Charlie Chaplin, John Barrymore, and Douglas Fairbanks. Those movie sessions ignited his passion for the arts, but family life was unhappy. His father was an alcoholic, often absent, and his mother was irritable, sometimes beating him. At 9 years old, an event changed his life forever. When he came home one day, his father told him that his mother had left. Later, his father remarried and lied that his mother had died. Can you imagine? A child, only 9 years old, deprived of the mother he loved, and then deceived into believing she was dead. This left a deep wound in young Archie's soul, causing him later in life to always struggle in relationships, especially with women. He once admitted that his complicated relationship with his mother was why he didn't know how to treat women for most of his life. He also speculated about possible Jewish origins, due to his appearance and circumcision, which was rare in England outside the Jewish community. But there is no genealogical evidence to support this. By age 14, unable to endure family life, Archie ran away from home, living on the streets and joining a troupe led by Bob Pender. There he learned to walk on stilts, clown around, and perform impressive acrobatics. The Pender troupe took him to America in 1920 when he was just 16, and he decided to stay instead of returning to England. That life was no dream. To make a living, he did all sorts of jobs, from selling ties, waiting tables, to even being a companion for wealthy women. Yes, Cary Grant, who later became a symbol of sophistication, once struggled to survive in his early days in America. He performed in vaudeville theaters, toured everywhere, and gradually built his acting skills. He once said those years taught him resilience, but also made him always feel lonely, like living on a thin tightrope. He joined Broadway plays, and it was here that he began to form his unique acting style. In New York, Archie met Orry-Kelly, an Australian costume designer who would become his first companion and lover. The two opened an illegal gay speakeasy during Prohibition, a place that became famous but full of danger. Just imagine 2 young men living in a world that didn't accept their love, facing pursuit from thugs and societal pressure. According to documents from Orry-Kelly's memoir, Women I've Undressed, published in 2015, the two lived together in a small apartment in Greenwich Village from 1925 to 1931. They shared expenses, sold Kelly's paintings on the street to get by, and even opened the speakeasy to make money. But their relationship was far from smooth. Orry-Kelly once recounted that Cary, then still Archie, pushed him out of a moving car during an argument. A violent act, right? It shows a dark side in Grant's personality, a man the world would later admire. Documents from Wikipedia and biographical sources like Cary Grant, A Brilliant Disguise by Scott Iman, 2010, confirm that Orry-Kelly was Grant's first gay lover, and the relationship lasted nearly a decade. but ended due to toxicity and violence from Grant's side. Recently, in 2025, an article in The Bugle revisited this relationship, emphasizing that Orry-Kelly, who was openly gay, and Grant lived together for nearly 9 years, and many believe they were lovers. By the early 1930s, Archie and Orry moved to Hollywood, where Archie transformed into Cary Grant. He took the name from a character in a play, changed his voice to create a unique style, the one we all remember, that deep, melodic voice, a mix of British and American. But Hollywood back then was not an easy place for someone like Grant. He had to hide his true self, especially as his relationship with Orry-Kelly became toxic and ended in 1932, when Orry became a costume designer for Warner Brothers. While Grant signed with Paramount, Orry-Kelly later won 3 Oscars for costumes in films like An American in Paris, 1951, Less Girls, 1957, and Some Like It Hot, 1959. But he was always openly gay, something Grant dared not do. According to a 2024 article in the Daily Mail, Grant's friends revealed the truth about his sexuality, including his affair with Orry-Kelly and later with Randolph Scott. And then, in 1932, fate brought Cary Grant together with Randolph Scott, an actor specializing in westerns with a rugged, masculine appearance. The two met on the set of the film Hot Saturday, 1932, and immediately they were attracted to each other. Imagine the scene, 2 young stars, one full of energy and humor like Grant, the other calm and steady like Scott, looking at each other with meaningful eyes. They quickly moved in together, not just in one but 2 homes, a villa in Los Angeles and a beach house in Santa Monica, called Bachelor Hall. Do you think this was normal back then? No. Hollywood at that time was tightly controlled by studios and a conservative society, where homosexuality was considered a crime. Grant and Scott's relationship lasted 12 years, from 1932 to 1944, longer than many Hollywood marriages of the era. According to sources like Cary Grant and Randolph Scott, A Hollywood Romance from Vanity Fair, 2024, they were described as deeply, madly in love by witnesses, such as photographer Jerome Zerby, who captured them in intimate moments. Famous photos from 1933 to 1935 show them cooking together, washing dishes, exercising, and Scott lighting a cigarette for Grant at sunset. Images like those of a happy couple, but they faced tremendous pressure. Newspapers began calling them the happy couple or Hollywood's favorite duo, but with veiled hints. A 1933 article by gay journalist Ben Maddox used coded words like cheerful and impetuous for Grant and serious and cautious for Scott, implying a homosexual relationship, sparking a media storm. Recently, on X, Twitter, from 2020 to 2025, there have been many posts discussing this relationship, with the hashtag #CaryGrantGay, where users share old photos and quotes from books like Cary Grant, A Brilliant Disguise by Scott Eyman, confirming Grant admitted to friends about being gay since his teens and bisexual in his youth. The studios, fearing scandal, forced Grant to marry actress Virginia Cherrill in 1934, but this marriage lasted only 7 months. Virginia later sued Grant, accusing him of domestic violence, excessive drinking, and lack of sexual interest in her. What do you think? A marriage just to fool the public, but ending in pain. Meanwhile, Grant and Scott's relationship continued. They even had a famous photo shoot, done by gay photographer George Hoyningen Huene or Jerome Zerby, capturing intimate moments. Scott lighting Grant's cigarette at sunset, the 2 washing dishes, exercising. These photos, now seen as the first photo shoot of a gay couple in Hollywood, are evidence of their love. But remember, this was the 1930s when homosexuality was taboo. They had to live in secret under pressure from studios and society. A 2023 article in The Guardian from daughter Jennifer Grant said he enjoyed being called gay because it made women want to prove otherwise, but she denied he was fully gay. At the same time, Cary Grant was building a brilliant career. He appeared in classic films, starting with This Is the Night, 1932, his debut film, where he played an Olympic javelin thrower. Then Blonde Venus, 1932, with Marlene Dietrich, a drama where Grant played Dietrich's lover, but he didn't like the role because it felt too dependent. In 1933, he starred in She Done Him Wrong and I'm No Angel with Mae West, two sexy comedies that made his name, with West's famous line, "Come up and see me sometime." These films saved Paramount from bankruptcy, and Grant became a romantic icon, but he didn't stop at romantic comedy. In Sylvia Scarlett, 1935, with Katharine Hepburn, he played a street performer, and the film was a commercial failure but helped him realize his versatile acting ability. The late 1930s were the peak of screwball comedy. The Awful Truth, 1937, with Iran Dunn, where Grant played an ex-husband trying to win back his wife, is considered one of the best comedies ever, receiving 6 Oscar nominations. Bringing Up Baby, 1938, with Hepburn, Grant as a paleontologist caught in adventures with a leopard and dinosaurs. Initially a flop, but now a classic. Holiday, 1938, with Hepburn again, Grant as a man rejecting a wealthy marriage to pursue freedom. Gunga Din, 1939, an adventure film with Victor McLaglen and Douglas Fairbanks Jr., based on Kipling's poem, where Grant played a British soldier in India. Only Angels Have Wings, 1939, with Jean Arthur, Grant as a brave pilot in South America. Into the 1940s, Grant continued to shine. His Girl Friday, 1940, with Rosalind Russell, a fast-paced comedy about journalism, where Grant played an editor trying to keep his ex-wife. The Philadelphia Story, 1940, with Hepburn and James Stewart, Grant as Hepburn's ex-husband. The film received 6 Oscar nominations. My Favorite Wife, 1940, with Dunn, where Grant starred with Scott, and the film is full of gay hints, like the scene where Grant is flustered seeing Scott in swimwear. Penny Serenade, 1941, with Dunn, a touching drama about a couple losing a child. Grant received his first Oscar nomination. Suspicion, 1941, by Hitchcock. Grant as a husband suspected of killing his wife. The film changed its ending to preserve his image. The Talk of the Town, 1942, with Jean Arthur and Ronald Colman, a legal comedy. Arsenic and Old Lace, 1944, by Frank Capra. Grant as a man discovering his aunts are murderers, a black comedy. None But the Lonely Heart, 1944, a drama based on Richard Llewellyn's novel. Grant as a wayward son, receiving his second Oscar nomination. Notorious, 1946, by Hitchcock with Ingrid Bergman. Grant as a spy, a classic espionage film. The Bachelor and the Bobby Soxer, 1947, with Myrna Loy and Shirley Temple, a romantic comedy. Mr. Blandings Builds His Dream House, 1948, with Loy, a film about building a house. In the 1950s, Grant collaborated more with Hitchcock. To Catch a Thief, 1955, with Grace Kelly. Grant as a retired thief, filmed on the French Riviera. An Affair to Remember, 1957, with Deborah Kerr, a classic romance. Indiscreet, 1958, with Bergman, a romantic comedy. North by Northwest, 1959, Hitchcock's masterpiece. Grant as a man mistaken for a spy, with the plane chase and Mount Rushmore scenes. Operation Petticoat, 1959, with Tony Curtis, a submarine comedy. That Touch of Mink, 1962, with Doris Day, a romantic comedy. Charade, 1963, with Audrey Hepburn, a suspense comedy. Grant as a mysterious man helping Hepburn. Father Goose, 1964, with Leslie Caron, a war comedy. His final film, Walk, Don't Run, 1966. Grant as a matchmaker at the Tokyo Olympics. He received 2 Oscar nominations but didn't win, was awarded an honorary Oscar in 1970 and Kennedy Center honors in 1981. In 1999, AFI ranked him second on the list of greatest male stars of Golden Age Hollywood. While his career soared, Grant's personal life was full of turmoil. He married 5 times. First to Virginia Cherrill, 1934 to 1935, the actress in Chaplin's City Lights. They met in 1932, married in London. But But Cheryl accused Grant of violence, alcoholism, and lack of sexual interest, divorcing after 7 months. Grant denied but paid alimony. Second to Barbara Hutton, 1942 to 1945, the wealthy Woolworth heiress. They met in 1941, married in Lake Arrowhead, but Hutton accused Grant of taking money, though he took nothing. Amicable divorce, but the press called him Cash and Carey. Third to Betsy Drake, 1949 to 1962, an actress he met on the Queen Mary ship in 1947. They co-starred in Every Girl Should Be Married, 1948, and Room for One More, 1952. Drake introduced Grant to LSD, but the marriage ended due to his affair with Sophia Loren in 1957 during The Pride and the Passion. Loren rejected Grant's proposal because she loved Carlo Ponti. Drake and Grant divorced, but Drake survived the Andrea Doria shipwreck in 1956 thanks to Grant. Fourth to Diane Cannon, 1965 to 1968, 33 years younger. They met in 1961, married in Las Vegas, had Jennifer in 1966. Cannon accused Grant of being controlling, criticizing her appearance, and using LSD causing hallucinations. Bitter divorce. Cannon wrote Dear Cary, 2011, detailing emotional abuse. Fifth to Barbara Harris, 1981 to 1986, 47 years younger, whom he met in 1976. They married in Beverly Hills, lived happily until Grant's death. Grant also had a close relationship with Randolph Scott, living together in the 1930s, leading to gay rumors. A 2020 article on Vulture explored the evidence, and a 2023 piece on The Guardian from Jason Colavito discussed discomfort with the ambiguity of Grant's sexuality. He once proposed to Ginger Rogers and had an affair with Loren, but always concealed. Regarding LSD, Grant started in 1958 with Dr. Mortimer Hartman, using it about 100 times until 1962. He called it psychotherapy, helping him face childhood traumas. In Jennifer's Good Stuff, 2011, he said LSD helped him rebirth, shedding barnacles and mistakes. It led to strange dreams, like imagining himself as a giant penis flying off Earth like a spaceship. According to Vanity Fair in 2010, LSD changed his perception of the universe and his place in it. He publicly endorsed LSD, influencing Timothy Leary, but stopped when it was banned, leaving $10,000 to the doctor. A 2017 document from Vulture recounted Roberta Haynes, who also experienced LSD therapy with Hartman, describing it as a psychic energizer cleansing the subconscious. Grant saw LSD as a way to resolve childhood traumas, like his mother's betrayal, and helped him reconcile with women. However, some patients reported scary experiences like hallucinations of giant black spiders, and Hartman was once stripped of his license for drug abuse. In 2023, FHE Health discussed how LSD helped Grant heal depression and imposter syndrome. Recently, LSD research is restarting, like FDA trials in 2017 for PTSD with MDMA, and Swiss studies on reducing anxiety for cancer patients. Grant retired from acting in 1966 to care for Jennifer, becoming a wonderful father. He played with his daughter, taught her to cook, and avoided the media. In 1980, he sued Chevy Chase for calling him homo, settling out of court. Grant died on November 29, 1986, at age 82, from a stroke in Davenport, Iowa, before a show, A Conversation with Cary Grant. His ashes were scattered in the Pacific Ocean. No funeral. His legacy is a Hollywood icon, influencing Superman, James Bond. But secrets of homosexuality with Scott and Kelly remain controversial. From recent ex-posts, 2020-2025, many discuss the Scott relationship, but Jennifer denies her father was gay, though admits experiments. In 2023, the ITV miniseries Archie told his life, and in 2024, a blue plaque at his childhood home in Bristol. Dear friends, Cary Grant's story is not just about glamour or scandals. It's about a man seeking acceptance, love, and himself in a world full of prejudices. He lived a life full of contradictions, but also passion. And perhaps what we learn from him is, no matter how difficult life is, we can create a better version of ourselves. Like how Grant became an immortal icon on the silver screen. From childhood traumas in Bristol, through forbidden loves in New York and Hollywood, to mind adventures with LSD, Grant was always a complex man, both charming and vulnerable. Recent articles, like from Pink News in 2024, explore his sexuality, suggesting he may have been bisexual, based on testimonies from friends and Iman's book. A 2023 Substack article from Jason Colavito discusses discomfort with the ambiguity, where Grant admitted to friend Royce that he was gay since his teens and bisexual in his youth. The book Cary Grant, The Making of a Hollywood Legend by Mark Glancy in 2021 details his journey from street boy to star, emphasizing childhood trauma affecting relationships. In The Trauma of Cary Grant on The Guardian in 2023, daughter Jennifer shares about sexuality rumors, which she refutes, but admits he had deep conversations on the topic. The book Hollywood legend Cary Grant's bisexuality and love of LSD on the Daily Beast in 2020 from Iman explores details, with quotes from diaries. The article The Truth About Cary Grant's Sexuality on Daily Mail in 2024 from Friends reveals male lovers. Were Cary Grant and Randolph Scott really lovers? On Vulture in 2020 examines evidence, including beach photos. Cary Grant, The Life Story You May Not Know on Stacker in 2021 mentions childhood trauma and LSD. The Cary Grant of It All on The Bugle in 2025 tells about Orry-Kelly. Iman's 2020 interview on Palm Beach Daily News discusses privacy and sexuality. Wikipedia updated in 2025 on his life, with the new plaque in Bristol. The book Cary Grant, A Brilliant Disguise by Iman in 2020 describes his voice as constructed like his persona. Imposter Syndrome, Cary Grant's quest for perfection on Vanity Fair in 2023 tells of relationships with wives and affairs with Rogers. Loren. Cary Grant, A Biography by Mark Elliott discusses sexuality, saying no love letters or diaries confirm, but rumors persist. A 2024 guest post on Travsd from Lauren Milberger tells of men in Grant's life, where he admitted sexual relations with Scott. Amazon describes Glancy's book as the definitive biography. Washington Post review in 2020 praises Iman, the eternally irresistible charm of Cary Grant on Medium. In 2020 explores bisexual rumors. Archie. Cary Grant's complicated masculinity on The Conversation in 2023 says the miniseries avoids sexuality, focusing on complex masculinity. About LSD. According to Vulture in 2017, Grant and Roberta Haynes joined Hartman's therapy, where LSD was like a psychic energizer cleansing the subconscious. He described it as seeing through a mask. Vanity Fair in 2010 says Grant called Hartman his wise Mahatma, and LSD helped him take responsibility for actions. He revealed to the press, influencing Leary, some experiences negative, like spider hallucinations, but Grant found it helpful. The Guardian in 2017 says LSD saved him, but could have ended his career. FHE Health in 2023 says LSD helped cure depression and imposter syndrome. Quartz in 2017 compares old and new research. Ethos in 2023 describes 100 trips helping reconcile the past. Magellan TV in 2020 calls him an apostle of LSD, helping resolve trauma. Esquire in 2017 says he used it 100 times. Vice in 2017 says he imagined a flying penis. Thank you for listening to this story. If you love stories about old Hollywood, please like, share, and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss the next videos. Leave a comment. Share your thoughts about Cary Grant and Randolph Scott. Was their love one of Hollywood's most beautiful stories? I'd love to hear your opinions. See you in the next video.